Pakistan has issued a blunt warning to its citizens traveling to Saudi Arabia for Umrah and Hajj. Do not beg, do not collect money illegally, and do not break Saudi visa rules. And this time, the warning comes with an unusually striking message. The Pakistani embassy in Saudi Arabia has released an AI-generated video showing a man being arrested by Saudi authorities and taken to jail. The message is simple: break the rules and you could face arrest, detention, and deportation. The embassy specifically targeted Pakistani Umrah pilgrims and workers arriving in Saudi Arabia. In its advisory, it urged Pakistani nationals to strictly follow Saudi laws and the conditions attached to their visas.
पाकिस्तान से आने वाले तमाम उम्रा ज़ायरीन और वर्कर्स से अहम गुजारिश: सऊदी अरब में भीख मांगना या इस तरह की किसी भी सरगर्मी में मुलव्वस होना कानूनन जुर्म है। खिलाफ वर्जी की सूरत में सऊदी इदारों की जानिब से गिरफ्तारी, मुल्क बदरी और सऊदी अरब में दोबारा दाखिले पर मुस्तकिल पाबंदी समेत सख्त कानूनी कार्रवाई का सामना करना पड़ सकता है। ख़ास तौर पर हरमैन में अपनी जानिब से व्हील चेयर सर्विस फराहम करना, बाल काटना या हजामत की खिदमत देना, लोगों में खैरात या माली इमदाद तकसीम करना, रकम का लेन देन और उधार करना सऊदी क़वानीन के मुताबिक मुकम्मल तौर पर ममनू है। एक जिम्मेदार पाकिस्तानी शहरी के तौर पर सऊदी क़वानीन की पाबंदी करें और गैर कानूनी सरगर्मियों से मुकम्मल इज्तनाब करें। आपकी जानिब से कानून की पासदारी पाकिस्तान का मुस्बत तशख़्ख़ुस बरकरार रखने में निहायत अहम है।
The embassy also warned against begging and unauthorized solicitation, particularly around the holy sites in Mecca and Medina. Saudi authorities have adopted a zero-tolerance approach towards begging, according to the Pakistani embassy. That means pilgrims cannot simply collect money from visitors or organize unofficial fundraising. Any financial collection or assistance has to be carried out through legal and authorized channels. The embassy also told Pakistani nationals not to use unauthorized local services and stressed that they must respect the rules governing their stay. And there is another major warning: do not overstay your visa. Pilgrims and workers have been specifically reminded that they must leave Saudi Arabia within the period permitted by their visas. They are also prohibited from carrying out activities that are not allowed under their particular visa category. Violating those conditions can have serious consequences. The embassy warned that offenders could be arrested, detained, and eventually deported from Saudi Arabia. So why has Pakistan issued such a strong advisory? Because begging and illegal fundraising by some Pakistani nationals abroad has become a serious issue for Islamabad. The problem is not limited to Saudi Arabia. Pakistan's own officials have previously acknowledged concerns over organized begging networks and illegal migration. In a National Assembly committee briefing last year, Pakistan's Federal Investigation Agency said that around 56,000 beggars had been deported from Saudi Arabia. Officials warned that such activity was damaging Pakistan's international image and contributing to tighter scrutiny of Pakistani travelers. That background helps explain why the embassy's latest message is so direct. It is not simply telling pilgrims to behave respectfully. It is trying to prevent Pakistani citizens from getting into serious trouble with Saudi authorities. And the use of artificial intelligence in the warning makes the message even more unusual. Instead of releasing only a traditional written advisory, the embassy posted an AI-generated video showing a fictional Pakistani traveler being arrested and taken to prison. The video was captioned, "Important message for all Umrah pilgrims and workers coming from Pakistan." The imagery is clearly designed to make the consequences immediately understandable. You arrive in Saudi Arabia for pilgrimage or work. You break the law, you get arrested, and potentially you are deported. The embassy is therefore trying to make sure that Pakistani visitors understand that religious pilgrimage does not exempt anyone from local laws. Saudi Arabia has its own strict regulations governing behavior, immigration, and public conduct. And those rules apply to foreign visitors as well. For pilgrims, this is particularly important because Mecca and Medina attract enormous numbers of people from across the world. Hajj alone brings together millions of Muslims, creating one of the largest annual human gatherings anywhere on earth. Saudi authorities therefore place enormous emphasis on crowd management, security, and maintaining order around the holy sites. And begging or unauthorized solicitation can create additional problems in those extremely crowded environments. The warning also comes at a time when Saudi Arabia is tightening the management of pilgrimage and Umrah travel. The kingdom recently clarified conditions for its one-year multiple entry Umrah visa. Having a valid multiple entry visa does not automatically mean a traveler can simply enter Saudi Arabia whenever they want. Pilgrims must obtain a new approved service package and a separate Umrah permit for each trip. And importantly, an Umrah visa cannot simply be used as a substitute for the proper Hajj arrangements during the Hajj season. That distinction is important because Saudi Arabia treats Hajj and Umrah as separate pilgrimage arrangements with different rules. For Pakistani travelers, the embassy is now effectively saying, know exactly what your visa allows. Follow those conditions, and do not assume that being a pilgrim protects you from enforcement. The same applies to Pakistani workers traveling to the kingdom. Workers must stay within the activities authorized by their visas and must not overstay. The embassy's warning therefore covers two very different groups, religious visitors and Pakistani nationals working in Saudi Arabia. But both face the same basic principle. Saudi law applies to everyone, and the consequences of ignoring it can be severe. There is also a reputational issue for Pakistan. Saudi Arabia is one of the most important destinations for Pakistani workers and pilgrims. The kingdom is also a major source of remittances for Pakistan. Millions of Pakistanis have family, employment, or religious ties to Saudi Arabia. So any repeated incidents involving begging, illegal migration, or visa violations can potentially affect how Pakistani nationals are treated at the border. Pakistan has already faced concerns over travelers being stopped or deported because of questionable documentation and alleged links to organized begging networks. That is why Islamabad has increasingly tried to warn citizens before they leave the country. The message is essentially damage control. Don't give Saudi authorities a reason to crack down on you. Don't turn a religious pilgrimage into a criminal or immigration case. And don't engage in behavior that could damage the reputation of other Pakistani visitors. For ordinary pilgrims, the rules are actually quite straightforward. Do not beg. Do not collect money without authorization. Do not use unauthorized services. Do not overstay your visa. And do not perform activities that your visa does not permit. The embassy is also asking pilgrims to respect the sanctity of the holy places and follow instructions from Saudi authorities. This is especially important during major pilgrimage periods, when enormous crowds can make even minor violations difficult for authorities to manage. And there is one more point worth remembering. Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. For Muslims who have the physical and financial ability, it is an obligation to perform Hajj at least once in their lifetime. But the religious importance of the journey does not override the laws of the country where the pilgrimage takes place. That is the central message behind Pakistan's unusually strict advisory. The embassy is not warning pilgrims that Saudi Arabia is unsafe. It is warning them that Saudi Arabia is enforcing its laws, and that foreign visitors who violate them can face consequences. The AI-generated arrest video may look dramatic, but the underlying warning is very real. For Pakistani pilgrims heading to Saudi Arabia, the instruction from their own government is now unmistakable. Go for the pilgrimage. Respect the holy sites. Follow Saudi law. Stay within your visa conditions. And above all, don't beg, because what may look like a small violation can quickly turn into arrest, detention, and deportation.